Hello! Today, welcome to the channel. We've got biomass night briquettes, some pine kindling, a light bit of oak or something like that, and I think it's oak. It's dry anyway, and we've got fire lighters. So we've got a fire lighter down there. There's another fire lighter. We've got some tissue. It's perfectly acceptable to light fire. It's going to smoke at first, obviously. Anybody with a brain would know that. Anybody with any intelligence would know that your fire is going to smoke at some point in time. Oh, you know what I never did? Just cleaned the actual. So what is this? 12th of December?
She deserved to live in a country that put her life and her safety above a little bit of middle-class politically correct comfort. If we don't learn from this tragedy, from her tragedy, then we're complicit in the next one. No more excuses. No more looking the other way. It's time to stand up for British values.
It's the 14th of December, and the 14th, and it is 9 minutes past 6. As a mother. Why as a mother? Why not just as a human being? As an adult? As a father? Was it good? I don't get that as a mother. Don't get that shit. Okay, right. Oh, I should have done the front as well. Right, so I'm just trying to. I think it should go alright. The night briquettes are not quite as easy to light as the oak stuff.
Somebody should ask questions about that, and they shouldn't be scared to ask questions about that. What has happened that you're suddenly wearing a headscarf? Can we take it off? Are we allowed to look? She was covering up injuries, or she wasn't.
Yeah, she was wearing a headscarf to cover her injuries in her head. That was quite appalling. Abuse. That's real abuse, isn't it?
That is constantly letting Britain down. It makes this country, well, it puts this country backwards decades, centuries even. This is not stuff that we should be talking about in 2024. It does, and make no mistake, there are plenty of British people that have abused their children. This is not so paltry, but what we must never have anywhere is barriers to going forward and saying no. Well, just to read out that Times article, it says the council that supported Sarah Shahif's father and eventual murderer being given custody was previously reprimanded for placing a girl with an accused paedophile relation who allegedly went on to abuse her. I mean, these kinds of failures.
Okay. Right, so there you go. Welcome to the Challenge of Fire Lighting session. Yes. Fire lighting session. So we're using fire lighters. We'll see how it goes. I might need to put another fire lighter in there. As I say, we're sort of struggling a wee bit at the moment because I need to get into the dry stuff at the back of the. I've got a heap of dry wood at the back of the wood store, which is sort of. I've got stuff in the way of it at the moment, so I need to sort that out Tuesday morning. I've got the new log store things coming Wednesday, so I've got to erect them. They're flat packed and then load them up, so you've got to plan ahead with this, you know. So I've got a heap of these biomass things to burn yet, probably about to the end of the year. There's about 4, oh wow, there's a lot. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48, 54, 60,
so many times when they did spot the abuse and the harm, and I remember reading that this girl would run away from her father when he tried to come near her. So it was
I've got about 68 biomass briquette or night briquettes to burn. 68. So I mean, if that was like what you burn in like one a day, 2 a day, so that's 68. I'll say I'm not. What's it? It's about 68. Just say, it's 68. That's so if it's 2 a day, 14 a week.
I guess the question is, Benjamin, I think you're right. I think there were plenty of
I think there's about, given in mind it's going to be Christmas and New Year, so more, well, that's the thing with winter, you're in more often, aren't you, than you would be in the summer. So it's like a month's worth. I don't know the mistake that I made when I bought all the stuff from Shamford Estate is that I didn't mix it up enough. I burnt all the light kiln dried wood, soft wood, and for some reason or another, I got the night briquettes in the house, right? Well, obviously because you don't want them getting at all damp, so you put them straight in the house. And I've actually been using them as a bit of a coffee table. It's like a table. I'll show you what I'm talking about. It's a table. Yeah. There. Yeah, table. You're using your... And I've got... you can put a table lamp and everything on it. Yes, But of course the table is getting lower. I think that fire's going to go alright. I think we'll... Yeah.
And I think there's actually, if there's a cultural problem, it's one that may be more acute in this community, but exists generally, which is this idea that you can hit your kid and there's sort of an acceptable way to hit your kid. And I think that grey area is extremely counter. Well, I think also notice all the difference.
That fire's going! It's going! So the night briquettes are giving me more ash than the kiln dried softwood. I think it's because they're so compressed. Yeah, that's why it is. So I've got like, what was it, 2 you've got in there? Yeah, I've got 2 in there. So I won't put any more in tonight. That'll keep it going till about, I don't know, midnight or something. It's 6:15 at the moment. It's the 14th, did I say it's the 14th of December in the evening.
Right, we'll move on from that. Still to come tonight, Renee's going to give her medical medicine to the panel. Her take on the morality and science around the first cousin marriage scandal. But next, is Ed Miliband about to bankrupt us with his net zero agenda? He'll be alright, millionaire millipede, Miliband. You're with the Saturday 5, we're live on GB News.
How do you tell if somebody's a bad person? Yeah, they've got to prove that they're bad. You know, you can't be a bad person before they're a bad person. So I'm just thinking there about how, like, when you think about relationships and when you're trying to be a decent person but they're being a bad person, how do you? And I think about, maybe, like, say I did something friendly to them and they did a bad thing on me. I'm thinking, well, what if I'd done it differently? So then, does that mean I'm going to become a bad person, just like them? When I say a bad person, I'm talking about somebody who goes on power trips and takes advantage of vulnerable people. That's what I'm talking about. And that's the sort of person that I'm dealing with. So you sort of open up yourself. So that's the problem. So if you don't so you start being horrible to people, like what they are to people, taking advantage of them and everything. That's not really the way to go though, is it? I think you need to carry on being a good person, but you need to be a bit more careful, is my advice. And I suppose that's advice to myself really. You need to be more backwards at coming forwards. So less open and, you know, don't be so obliging. I just can't help myself at times. You know, it's just the way you're brought up, isn't it? I think a lot of it's to do with being brought up in little villages in Scotland, or probably little villages in England as well. But up north, you were sort of more likely to help people and do things for people. You know, that was just like natural way of life. So you know, so it's just like I often think about in the past, say like you've been offered something and you say no instead of yes, because you don't want it could be a trap, you know. So the time at Glam's Castle when I was down looking at cars, that was a couple of years ago, and he invited me into their tent. It was a tent. I think it was a caravan with a tent, and his girlfriend. And I should have said, no, you're alright, pal, I'll just carry on looking at cars. So his girlfriend didn't want me there. But she didn't say that, but it was an awkward situation. I still think about it, that I perhaps got involved in something I shouldn't have got involved in. In my life, you might be the same. You do land up sometimes getting into other people's gameplay, you know, with an open mind, when you should say no, I'm okay, thanks. Be a bit more circumspect, you know what I mean? That I'm fine, or thanks for the offer, but I'll be fine, thanks, I'll just carry on. You know, don't be so open and friendly. Certainly be careful about who you invite into your... Yeah, does that mean, have I invited you into my home because we're doing this video? Probably, a wee bit, but not really. I mean, that fire's really properly going, isn't it? But I'm a bit disappointed it's not burning at the bottom. See the bit in below the briquette? Well, I did put a bit. That's where the actual one of the firelighters was at the bottom there in that gap. So I'm a bit weird. I'm a bit surprised as to how that happened. You know, how's it done that? Right, I think it's time we turned it down a bit. It's starting to go. It really is properly going. Properly going. Now, sometimes in life you have to do things, you know, in order to protect yourself as well.
But I didn't just work for the Labour Party, I worked for Ed Miliband's shadow cabinet, one of his shadow cabinet ministers.
God.
And I'm apologising because obviously I'm a change.
Clean power by 2030, that's a scam, it's a complete total scam.
It's clear today now that the man is in power running the net zero department that he hates Britain and he wants to bankrupt.
He is bankrupting Britain. They're going to make a load of money and then bail out and leave us with a load of broken solar panels, broken wind farms, misery and poverty, deaths as well. There'll be people who's going to die off this with these battery storage facilities, and he's going to bog off with the money.
What's it paid for, Mr. Miliband? Well, I've no idea, Nick. So you've been in receipt of £45,000 of £130,000. Honestly, you know, look, I'm worrying about the nation's energy system. I'm trying to get the nation's energy system right.
You're trying to fuck it up, yeah? Right, okay, I need to turn this down a bit. It's going a bit too much. I think we've got too much of a fire going there. So that's what you really want to do. You don't want the fire going much because it's too smoky and then people complain. So you want it to be going like that, and that's all healthy, appropriate wood. I mean, that you would burn on it. You know, it's got to be dry. It's got to be.
So you've been conned yet again. And yesterday, or a couple of days ago, only 8.3% of all your energy came from wind. That's 2/3 from fossil fuels. Now, he's promised you that this is going to generate thousands of jobs for Britain. He's promised you this is going to lower bills. Another lie. saw with Port Talbot closing down. This is going to destroy Britain. It's going to make your bills go up. Is it time we drill, baby, drill, get that gold out the ground instead of this nut zero nonsense? Let alone the thousands of solar panels that were destroyed in Storm Dara the other day. Isn't it time we end this, Will? On that point, hang on,
Right.
you was emailed in. Where is Mad Ed going to get the £500 billion to install 1 billion solar panels across the United Kingdom? I mean, that's why they're attacking, your lot are attacking the farmers, isn't it? You want their land so you can pave over them with solar panels. Well, it wasn't why I was attacking them, but I think it's a perfectly good reason to attack them.
Do you know, I look at
What a
them,
bastard.
solar panels,
See, farmers by definition, Jen, I mean, I'm not, obviously they're not all completely perfect, right? But they're by definition, they're small c conservatives. So that's why this government is attacking them. It's because they're not, farmers, quite rightly so, do not support socialists.
It looks like Glastonbury after the hit.
You know.
It's the same sort of thing.
You've only done with that time.
We have to admit to ourselves, this doesn't look to me like sustainability. It wasn't just solar panels, by the way. Wind turbines were toppled. They had to
The wind turbines are blown over, so were solar panels.
to turn them off.
And that's just like, at the end of the day, that's just a storm. It's just a winter storm. I've had winter storms for thousands of years. That's all that was a winter storm. It wasn't really any worse than, there's storms every year. Sometimes you get unlucky, you might get killed if you're in a van, and a bit of wood lands on top of your van, if you're out at work, or if you're going to your work, you might get drowned. That's what happened to my first brother-in-law near Montrose a year and a bit ago. That's the hazards of life, you know. I would advise, if there is a red warning, I think you should stay at home, even if it is your job, unless, of course, you're a fireman or in the police or something. That's different. That's your duty to go to work, you know. Or, you know, in the energy sector, repairing power lines, whatever, you know, stuff like that. If it's not that, stay at home, you know, right? But staying at home can be dangerous. Yeah, yeah, of course it can. Staying at home can be freaking dangerous, can't it? Your house gets flooded or washed away, or, you know, especially when they're building homes in floodplains and over in far, you know, in the wrong place, in greenbelt land, which floods or whatever. The Forth River Valley, they're doing that. They've done it. You want to buy that, fine, but you know, it might be okay. It seems like an awful lot of waste of money, but
This is a nonsense. They don't work, solar panels. They're very inefficient. They're actually only got a lifespan of about 30 years. They're all coming from China, so they're not economically friendly when they're made. They're being made with precious metals, which African children are digging out of the ground and dying to produce. Well, you know, we're just so
yeah, you're talking about lithium batteries there, Henry. Aye.
losing their lives. And we're so hypocritical in everything we do.
Look, I mean, we have to be more sustainable. We can't rely on
Oh, here we go, the usual shit.
just rely on oil forever. Why? And at some point you have to prepare for that.
He has a good question.
Why?
Why do we have to be more sustainable when you see the major emitters in the world focusing on growth over sustainability?
But that's not correct, because China has a net zero target. By 2060, China has more electric vehicles than any other.
They're also building three.
So it's very cheap for them.
They're also building.
a coal-fired power station every day.
But if your argument is that, oh well, China is in their emissions going up.
Yeah, that's the argument. Yeah.
Committed to bring it to net zero 10 years after.
Because it's not, because you're not going to make the blindest bit of difference to the... Right, so how's this firelighting session going on? Right, it's time, basically the firelighting session ends when it's going. Right, so that's, we're at,
This is foreign policy challenge.
it's not quite,
If you genuinely cared about
quite red yet. You know, I don't have any sawdust in. I did have,
their emissions, because that's the only way the climate will be impacted.
yeah, I'm going to get some.
This weekend, the West and China are laughing all the way.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. The net zero thing. God.
To come tonight, Willie's going to say that we're all being taken for fools on OnlyFans. He's not on it, don't worry.
OnlyFans.
Find a Willie on the internet. Renee tells us why we should not keep it in the family. Lord, that sounds filthy. But next, build. Oh, block. Can Labour defeat the NIMBYs? You're with the Saturday Vibe.
Can Labour defeat the NIMBYs? This is a converse argument here, isn't it? Because the NIMBYs, you know, I mean, they don't want green belt land filled with concrete. They're not really NIMBYs, are they? You know, what is a NIMBY? You know, so that's not NIMBYism, that's just trying to protect our environment. So then the housing, the so-called housing crisis is a made-up thing. It's like the climate crisis, it's made up. It's pushed by media. It's not a crisis. The crisis is that they have made a crisis and we are the victims. It's not the actual fact that, because they're not building any houses, the government's not building houses, right? So they get greedy corporate bodies to build the houses. That's the crisis. And your average person can't afford them. And they're overpriced. So the real net value, is that what the word, is it net value, what something's intrinsically worth? We know that log burner's worth, you know, probably half what I paid, what it cost. But a house, so you go and buy a house, it's £500,000. That's in Scotland. I mean, it could be worse down in England. So it's £500,000, and it's got thin walls. It's only got parking for one car. You know, it's net worth. So its actual cost. You know, the materials involved to build it are pretty standard, and the location where it's been built, if it's been built in green belt land in some housing scheme, it's hardly really a very exclusive location, is it? If it's in a scheme, you look at your window, all you see is more houses like what you've bought. So that it's intrinsic. So if it's 500,000, £500,000 is actually worth, well, the kit and it's a fraud, so it's only worth half that, isn't it? It's worth 200, probably 250,000. But I know some of them are cheaper. I mean, I've seen them. I think they started off up at Windsor Milton. I think they started off at 280,000. I mean, that's like a terraced house. It's insane. You know, so its net worth would be 130,000. So it's like half its net worth. Right, so I'm going to turn the fire down. I think we can safely say it's lit. It's going. So what I'm doing now is I do the fire lighting session separately for the separate. Ah, that is hot. I do them separately from the channel update now. So that's, turn that down about there. And obviously the video could do it longer, but I don't know, do people really want to watch a fire? Well, you know, actually I think some people actually do. There has been videos of fires. Maybe a quiet one, with me not talking, just watching a fire. That'd be interesting to see how many people watch that. You know, like if I just like lit it and then went away and did something, and you can see the whole process from start to finish. Oh, I tell you what would be a good idea. If we did it with a time lapse. Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Knowing how that would work out, the time lapse video. I need to get myself a new phone. That's the thing I'm getting after Christmas. I'll wait until after, see if they're cheaper. But I'll just sit and thinking there. I can't really leave my phone. I got away out somewhere, out the back even or out the front. I need the phone with me normally, but so that'll sit down to half the air that's going in it. So it's just in case anybody's interested. You know, MD's reporting me to the council or something like that. There you can see it's all clean and it's appropriate wood. It's not the wrong stuff, it's the right stuff, and it always has been and it always will be. It's not really in my interest to burn anything that's damp because it doesn't give off the right heat, and it probably suits up your lung anyway. And equally, you wouldn't really want to be, you don't want to be burning paper because it blocks it up. I will burn paper to get the thing going. I think that's perfectly acceptable. So it's only be a reckless thing to do to burn the wrong stuff in there. And you have to burn clean stuff, and that's what I'm doing. So anybody that says otherwise, it's going to end up finding that things aren't going to work out for them. they're going to find themselves in they're going to have to answer to, you know. So I don't think you can really think you can get away with that, abusing people like that and get away with it. So, but maybe you can. We'll see. You know, good luck to you, because you're, well, why would I want to say that to somebody? That's stupid, right? Oh, there's a lot of sawdust here. You know, you have to look after people, and you have to be realistic about what people have rights, and they can do what they can do. If, you know, they can't do what they want, but they can, within the laws and rules, they can do things within that. So you can't, because you don't like something that somebody's doing, because it doesn't suit you, and you maybe think that you're connected to the council or something like that. That doesn't work. It might work, but it's not going to work. You know, I mean, maybe it does if you come across some complete numpty or something that doesn't have any understanding of how to defend themselves. Yeah, well, that's vulnerable people. So the thing's going to go off now. It's going hot now. So thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. I'll just keep it going now. But typically what happens, it actually cuts itself off about now. Probably some functions does by temperature rise. So it's a bit too close. That's what it is. So we'll get it back a bit. It's still probably going to be too hot. Look at that. That's a perfect fire. So thanks for watching this fire lighting session. Please, as I said, remember, send me a message. And I love everyone, and I wish everyone the best. And I'd like it if the world was a better place, and people didn't take advantage of other people. That would be good. I like to do things fair and square. And if you don't, then there's something wrong with you, and you're going to have to pay for it, because God is going to get you. The universe is going to get you, because the universe gets us all anyway. But if you have done the wrong things, for whatever reason, maybe you don't even know that it's wrong, and that's because you haven't got a decent peer group, or because you've not been brought up properly, or there's something wrong with you. You know, you've got a narcissistic personality disorder. If you've got that, then, you know, what can I say about it? You're going to have to face the consequence of it. There's a lot of people like yourself who are in jail, who do the wrong thing, and don't behave like decent citizens, and look after other people, vulnerable people. You're supposed to look after them. You're not supposed to abuse them and steal from them. You're not supposed to do that, and that's what you have done. Generally, I usually like to avoid narcissistic numpties. But unfortunately, sometimes they do cause you to have to deal with them. So, you know what? I love yous all, and we're going to go. The phone is too hot, and the fire is perfect. So, thanks for watching. Bye! My God, that is hot. And it's perfect. Look at it. Wow. It's an art form. Definitely is. Oh, we've got to go on to the guy on Monday, the guy that fitted it as well, to have a word with him and see if he's entirely, well, obviously it's like, are you entirely happy with it? You know. Yeah, probably that's an idea. I did think about that last week, actually. You can't make it higher because it will end up getting blown over by the wind, you know. The chimney, that is. You've got like a bit in the top. There's various different ways of doing it.